behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello everybody. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up for you in just a moment. But before we begin, don't forget about that subscribe button and the bell if you haven't done that already. And anytime a new episode comes your way, obviously you'll be notified. And if you'd like to leave a comment on the comment section, you're welcome to. And go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/PaulMashTV. And you can follow us there or send us an inbox and comment the things you see there. And we love email as well. It's all one word, paulmashtv@gmail.com. And if you're a band or a solo artist who wants to be on the show, send me an email and I'll show you how to do that. But we love fan mail as well, so if you're just simply a fan, you can talk to us and we'll always respond. And all this is going to be recapped at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Kent, England, we have Steve Hewitt today, a very awesome artist, and I know you're going to love it. And we're going to get right to the interview in a second as it starts right now. All right, everybody, it's interview time as promised, and with us from Kent, England, we have Steve Hewitt with us today. Thank you for joining us, Steve.
Thanks very much for having me.
Oh, no problem. We're glad to have you here. How did it all begin for you as far as being an artist? I mean, everyone has their own story. We'd love to hear your story about how you decided. Maybe you've always wanted to be an artist, but, give us your own, your own take on it.
Well, music's been such a big part of my life anyway. I mean, like from driving to work with my dad at a young age, and he always had Dean Martin or Hank Williams on. My granddad was kind of listening to that kind of music. But although I kind of sang a hum to it, the first kind of time that I literally sat up and took notice was when I heard Elton John's Yellow Brick Road. I just fell in love with that melody, and I thought to myself, God, this is, it just wouldn't leave me. And then I'm growing up, different influences not around me, my friends. A lot of my friends were very kind of current, modern and trendy. I was never that. But they kind of listened to whatever was current of the day. Might have been a bit hip hop, but pop and that kind of thing. I think my first two singles that I bought was Gangsta's Paradise by LL Cool J and Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison. But then after that, I kind of went back a stretch and I heard Buddy Holly for the first time. And then after that, I just loved the kind of simplicity. I loved the clean sound, and I just kept listening to it. And then it was kind of, the more I was listening to it, I was getting a bit frustrated because I wanted to do what he was doing. And at that time, I was going to church and I was playing in church and that on a Sunday. And my pastor knew that I used to love Buddy Holly. And then he come in with a Fender Stratocaster, and he said, "Here, Steve, come in the back room." So I was in the back room, and he played Peggy Sue Got Married, and I was like, I was so excited about it. I literally grabbed the guitar off him, and I couldn't even play. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just want to play it. Anyway, so I suppose it was him that kind of got me started playing, really. And then I bought an electric guitar, started playing, but I couldn't quite. It didn't suit me until I heard David Gray, White Ladder, come out in about 1999, but it didn't start to get big until 2000, 2001. And then I just listened to the album over and over and over. And then I picked the acoustic guitar up. And then I was so inspired by David Gray that I kind of didn't really want to riff and start soloing and stuff and doing that, the electric thing, really. And then I started getting obsessed with words. So I started to write a lot of songs, really in-depth songs, and it helped me emotionally as well, because I was a very frustrated young boy. And then I started writing, and then it was almost like it was a way to get it out of my system. And then I just fell in love with it more and more. And then after listening to David Gray so much, I thought, I got to a period where I wanted to be inspired again from somebody else, and then I found out about Bob Dylan, and it all changed for me really. And I just fell in love with Dylan's music over and over, and it's really crazy, really, because you know Dylan hasn't got the greatest voice, although there are albums that he's got a pretty decent voice, like Nashville Skyline, you know, New Morning, that kind of thing. He's got an iconic voice, let's say that. Only he could pull it off, almost like the Bee Gees with the high falsetto. If anybody tried to do that outside of that, you'd laugh and have a laugh. But with Bee Gees, you just like stood up and paid attention.
Mhm.
And it was kind of that for me. And then afterwards, I found out about Van Morrison, a bit of Tom Waits I loved. And then it just went on from there, really. So, yeah, you're on today.
Yeah, those are some legends you mentioned, and that was going to be my second question, is some of the legends that really inspired you. But you mentioned several there, because you mentioned like the Bee Gees and
Yeah.
you know, Coolio and Elton John, you know, so forth, and
Yeah.
so those
Yeah.
are legends there.
Quite. Well, I suppose really it's kind of led me to be the artist today, because I never ever wanted to be predictable. I
Mhm.
never wanted to be a performer where I play one song and after that it'll be the same sort of, I don't know, same sort of genre throughout. I didn't want to be predictable. So I started to write pop, and then I started to write country, and then Americana, and then a bit of alternative and a bit of darker, moodier stuff. But you start off kind of singing loud, playing loud and aggressive with loads of energy, but the older you get, I've got kids in it now and I'm married, I kind of paced it down a little bit. So I've gone back to the kind of, you know, heartfelt picking stuff, which is I suppose that's life really, you know.
Right. Yeah, and I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing there, and I hope you'll be around for a long time there.
Thank you very much.
Well, tell everybody where we could find your music at. I'm sure it's at all streaming platforms, but as well as that, all social media. Let volunteer that as well if you'd like.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, I'm on YouTube, so just search Steve Hewitt Music, and that is across all platforms. So that's Steve Hewitt Music on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I've just kind of I've kind of gone on to TikTok.
Okay.
Not out of choice, really. I don't do, you know, all the little segments that people do. It's just like another place that I could showcase something, or you know, maybe if somebody heard me and they go, oh, I wonder what else he's got, and then it can bring them back to something else. A bit of Twitter, but yeah, mostly Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
and are you on all streaming platforms? By the way, you know, like
yeah, as well. Yeah, I'm on Spotify, iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else really. I've got a new upcoming single coming out as well, so that's called Jealous Man.
Mhm.
It's got like a darker kind of I don't know, it's like a darker Western theme song, if you like. I suppose it was inspired somewhat by Townes Van Zant's, because I kind of got obsessed with 3 different country acts. Now I don't really follow the kind of mainstream ones. The last kind of mainstream that I did follow would have been Hank Williams of the day, but that's real country to me. Nowadays, it's kind of country rap and country pop, and it's kind of become something else. So I'm kind of going into the backwoods, you know, thinking, what can I find that's real, earthy? You know what I mean? I believe what they're singing and writing about. And there was 3 artists that really stuck out for me. There was one guy called Blaze Foley, great artist. There was another artist called John Prine, which is quite big over in America, and Townes Van Zant's, which a lot of people consider over that neck of the woods or that area where he's from, will class him as the best, one of the best songwriters in history, compared with Dylan and stuff like that. And yeah, I just started listening to him, and it was just, I was just transfixed. You know, nothing spectacular about his guitar playing or voice. He could tell a story. He could tell a real story, and that ability overtook the guitar playing and the vocal, and the story just kind of drew you in. And I really wanted to write something like that for a long time. And then I kind of listen to people, get inspired, but then I separate myself for a little while so that I don't sound like them when I write. So like I've got the idea, I've got the inspiration, I know what direction I want to go down, and then I don't listen to them deliberately for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll start writing stuff, and then I'll add a. So then I don't sound like them, I sound like myself, and but yeah, that's where it come from really. It's quite a difficult song to sing, but it's hopefully it's relatable.
Okay, well, it is a great song, and we're going to watch that in a minute. And don't forget to go to those streaming sites he mentioned to you and download and listen to his songs there. I know he would love you for that. And we'll get to, like I said, we'll get to that in 1 second. But I think that's all we need right now, Steve. And we want to thank you again for being on the show. Come back anytime you want to come back, and maybe you can plug something new for us when you got something new.
Thank you very much, brother. So I'd love that.
Oh,
Thanks for having me. It's been a blessing. Thank you.
okay, and here it is, Jealous Man by Steve Hewitt, and it starts right now.
I know that you don't see me like you used to. We've never seemed to see much eye to eye. You're always picking at my words like a chicken at its feet. So I've learned not to expect more than a fight. Jealous man, jealous man, you'd rather see me fall down than to stand. I feel the wicked in your gaze and the trigger in your mouth. Would rather shoot me down than ever give me praise. I've given up here, never trying to please you, and trying to show you that I'm but a man. 'Cause your love is like the smoke that clings upon the lungs, that slowly gives the reason for the pain. Jealous man, jealous man, I know that you could never understand, 'cause you can't see past your nose and the label on my clothes as you drown within the shallows of your rage. I've seen it while we've been in conversation, and tell it by the movement of your eyes. That resentment intertwines with the hate where you reside. The death of you will be your pride, oh jealous man. Jealous man, jealous man, the way you talk is more than I can stand. You look for any stain to criticize and place the blame, reinforcing your disdain, oh jealous man. Oh, jealous man,